Hello, everyone. I just belched as I was said my opening introduction there. Now I've sort of thrown myself off by doing that. Welcome to Windbreakers and the Resident Evil 9 Spoilercast. We've all played it. We've all put out videos relating to it. And so now it's time to spoil the fuck out of it, to go really in deep on it, really pulverize its brains out from the inside.
Jesus, we're gonna stick our hypodermic needles in its neck and watch its heads pop like a little pinata.
Curb stomp.
Oh, I forgot to mention I'm Yahtzee and I'm joined by Jay and Marty.
Hello, well,
But
as always.
you know that by now. So why don't we start by let's summarize our general opinions on the games that we've already brought across in our videos. For me, this is a classic Resident Evil pattern of starting off really well and then kind of going to shit in the back half. I mean, with some games it happens more gradually and at a different pace, like Resident Evil 7's mostly good, but then it kind of goes to shit at the end. This is like it's almost uncanny how close to the halfway point the turning point for Resident Evil 9 was for me. Because the first half with Grace in the hospital, it's great. It's like atmospheric, it's full of neat ideas. Some like aspects of it might feel a little overdone. But the second half with Leon in action hero mode, it's just I just found it kind of boring. And the ending lab sequence was full of really dumb plot turns that I'm full of complaints about. Okay, Jay, go. Your opinion overall.
Kind of that, but more violent. I absolutely adored the first half. Anything to do with Grace, I thought was fantastic. Anything to do with literally every single interaction with Leon made me want to pull my eyes out. And
do you have much? Do you have much history with Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, I've played Resident Evil 4 a bunch.
I think because I still appreciate Leon as like the wacky action hero who's not quite there yet in terms of his demeanor.
But did we see him? Was he here?
Yeah. I mean, he did his action hero thing, and he delivered his terrible one-liners in the way
we're doing the round table, and then we're doing the discussion.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You guys are doing the discussion before the round table.
Love half. Sorry. Really dislike the other half.
You both are nerds. This game's great. No, I definitely share. I think the Leon portions, especially the early portions of Raccoon City, I think take a pretty steep nosedive. I do think this game does work as kind of a greatest hits album victory lap for a franchise that has honestly earned it, in my opinion. And while there is that dip in Raccoon City that I completely agree with you guys, I do think it's able to kind of pull the throttle and avoid crashing into the mountain. And I genuinely enjoy playing as Leon. I think Leon is a blast, and I think he might be history's greatest himbo. That's my take.
You know what I've noticed is that there's a weird corollary, or possibly not weird if you think about it, that all the good Resident Evil games that are generally, broadly speaking, the good ones, they always have fairly in-depth, like extra gameplay modes, like the Mercenaries, the Fourth Survivor, Ethan was dying.
Resi 2 had all sorts of multiple campaigns and hunk and tofu and all that.
Yeah, but then all the games that are not quite so good, Resident Evil, like the RE3 remake and this one and various others, they just don't have extra gameplay modes. And I always think it's a shame when they don't, because I love the Mercenaries as a concept. I think more games that have decent core gameplay loops should just have a mode where it's just the core gameplay loop without anything getting in the way.
My gut says that DLC is coming sooner rather than later.
Those insidious fuckers.
Yeah, agreed. To structure this somewhat, do we want to start by talking about kind of the first half of the game, the Grace stuff?
Well, the point I was getting towards is that Leon's camp parts feels a little bit like a Mercenaries mode writ large.
To the point where you literally get points for killing dudes.
Yeah, points for killing. But yeah, let's go through the plot. So we start off as Grace Ashcroft, who is an FBI analyst, who for some reason is sent alone into the field to inspect a crime scene, which is also the place where her mother died, making her severely compromised as an asset in this area. But I'm not the boss of the FBI.
That was Kash Patel's decision. So.
Yeah. Criticism on them. I think I've heard some criticism of people being like, "Oh, she's super whiny and she's super scared." Man, if what it seemed like one of her first assignments was to go to the hotel where she watched her mum die or be murdered. No. I'd be shook up as well. I think
I'd be making the Luigi's Mansion noise very often.
Yeah.
As well.
Is it really established what sort of career she's had up to that point? Has it just been like the greatest field analyst in the FBI, and that's why
she seems like someone to go to this? She seems like someone who's in front of a monitor 99%.
Yeah, her
of
desk
the day.
is stacked with papers and
in third person mode. She's got monitor hunch. I don't think she does, but that'd be pretty funny.
But they really go out of their way to characterize her as a sort of schmoll bean who's out of her depth. Like she's
hearing you say schmoll bean. Weird.
I don't know. I sort of latched onto it as a phrase because I think it's a good descriptor.
It's like seeing your teacher at the gas station.
You don't live at school.
Grace is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, a character from Resident Evil Outbreak, the multiplayer game for the PS2 that no one played.
I didn't know that, but when I heard the name Grace Ashcroft, my first thought was they've used that surname before. And then I realized I was thinking of the Ashfords from Code Veronica.
Code Veronica, yeah.
But I didn't even know what the character names were in Resident Evil Outbreak, but there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you were dealing with the story.
So yes, she goes to like a ruined hotel where she's supposed to investigate a body turning up. All the Raccoon City survivors have apparently been turning up dead with this weird disease, and that'll come back later. And she's encounters a weird bloke. I referred to him as the Borg Joker because he's Heath Ledger's Joker, but simulated Borg. Who shows up, turns a bunch of people into zombies, and then kidnaps Grace. And then right after that, we go into Leon's first section, where Leon, who has a mysterious disease on his face and arm, because he's a Raccoon City survivor as well, and he's in touch with who does he work for now? One of the anti-bioweapon things.
Yeah. Honestly, in terms of I love this series, and I've literally replayed it in its entirety the last 2 years, and I do not understand it's all these different factions and whatnot. But his eye in the sky is Sherry Birkin, the little kid from RC2.
See, when he first had because they saved that for a reveal later, but when I first heard the lady talking in his ear, I just assumed it was Hunnigan. Because that was his eye in the sky in Resident Evil 4 and the RE4 make. And I wasn't sure from the beginning if this was like a direct sequel to like all of the Resident Evils, or if we're just following on from the RE4 make as a continuity.
This whole series as a whole, some things from the movies are kept, like the CG movies. Sometimes they keep plot points from games. It is kind of all over the place though in terms of pure continuity, and I've just kind of I don't know.
But as it turns,
7 and 8 feel weirdly separate.
Mm-hmm. But as it turns out, you can always forget about the RE4 make because RE9 feels like a direct sequel to the Resident Evil 2 make.
Very much,
even while it does acknowledge the events of 5 and 6.
Yeah,
very, very loosely. They mentioned the fact that the president was killed by zombies, which happened in Resident Evil 6. And they referenced Tricell, which is the evil corporation that showed up in Resident Evil 5, if memory serves. Mm-hmm. Although I was sort of late to Resident Evil. I started really playing it in earnest from Resident Evil 4. So a lot of this I picked up from osmosis. I have never played Code Veronica. I never played the originals. So yeah, I don't know what was established in any of those. But yeah, Leon gets involved in an action shootout with the zombies to establish his more action-focused side of things. And then we cut to Grace in the hospital, and we begin what is probably the strongest part of the game, where Grace is in a dark wing of the hospital. She wakes up strapped to a gurney with her blood being taken out. That's something I'd like to come back to discuss with you later, because I didn't really get a central aspect of the plot. Okay. But we'll come back to that. But she finds herself trying to find her way to escape from this wing of the hospital. And in the process, she encounters a big old monster that I referred to as the Reject Bloodborne monster. It's a big female zombie monster.
Big mama.
That avoids the light, that is hurt by light and breaks lights selectively as you go through the section. and you generally have to stealth. You have no weapons, and you have to stealth around her.
Oh, it's such a strong opening.
And a great addition, I think, to Resi's like long history of stalker enemies. You know, going from Mr. X to the Nemesis to Jack Baker and everything to the big old the vampire everyone was all horned up about. I think she's great. I think she's terrifying. Just the and I think maybe it's because you are Grace and you're so unpowered, like you are so like whenever you're Leon in this game, you're like, well, fuck, I'm not scared of literally anything because I have 10,000 guns. Well, whenever you're Grace, you're like, this is the most terrifying game I've ever played in my life.
Grace has to avoid big boss monsters that Leon then kicks the shit out of later.
Yeah, it's a really strong opening, I think, specifically because I mentioned this in my video that they onboard you with a torch, and then in this section they remove it. So you don't have that that mechanic to like keep yourself, give yourself that information. And the way it uses those light switches to frame like the horse statue scare.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite moment when the light turns on and you see a statue at the far. You see something at the far end of the corridor, and you're not exactly sure what it is. It kind of looks like a monster going. Arr. And as you get closer, you realize it's a horse statue with its hooves in the air.
Yeah. If you had a torch in that moment, you wouldn't get that. And they also like mechanically teaches you about Big Mama's aversion to light. Like there's so much really good design from that opening section, from removing a tool from the player in the first like hour of the game. And I think that's just really smart.
It's a pretty self-contained area too, right?
Yeah,
it's like only like a couple hallways and a couple rooms, but it's like the fact that you have to double back on yourself and that the stalker enemy is there and that the puzzles have you kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
The puzzle in the little room where you have to intentionally move objects to get to the top of where the toolbox is, making noise and having to hide. It's really well done.
Mm-hmm. The moment that jumped out at me in there is towards the end as you're on your way out. If you go into the save room, the monster turns the light off in the save room and invades the save room. And that's never happens. Monsters never invade
that's
rooms.
Awesome. I didn't actually know about that.
I didn't encounter that.
I think there's, what was it? Maybe a Nemesis on PS1. There's like one save room that Nemesis can bust into. And I always was like, that's the rule. You're not supposed to do that. That's cool that they did that. I like that.
That's awesome.
So once we get to the end of that, Leon shows up, shoots the evil monster dead, and gives Grace Ashcroft a gun. And then Leon himself is captured. And we switch to Grace for... before that, we have Leon's first gameplay section in the hospital where he fights chainsaw zombies. And this
lets a woman die. And then...
This again really emphasizes Leon's action-focused... side of the gameplay. And at this point, I'm sort of appreciating taking a break from all the intense Grace horror with a little bit of playground fun with Leon, just to sort of help you get your breath back, which is weird to say because he has to fight off chainsaw zombies, which and the chainsaw really cuts nobody any slack in this game, as it never has done in Resident Evil, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's fun that you get to use the chainsaw for the first time as Leon, because you never got to do that in Resi 4.
Yeah.
I think
he's like processing his lingering chainsaw trauma, I think.
Yeah.
I think I will agree. As much as I will get into, I really dislike a lot of Leon sections. I do think this one specifically is a nice breath of fresh air. And this one out of all of them feels the most Resi 4 to me. Like, it's very bombastic. It's very over the top. The way that chainsaw zombie busts out, it's super tongue in cheek. Which is a weird juxtaposition from what we've just seen, but I think it works. Yeah. I also think it's really funny that he picks up the chainsaw to chop the what would you call it? The bolt on the door.
Oh yeah.
He like chops it in half to kick the door open, but it's bolted from this side. He could just open it.
It's not cool looking, is it?
I didn't even pick up on that.
It's really dumb. But like that, I like that. I think that's really fun, and I think, as we'll see, I think some of that fun kind of tips away the further we get in.
Yeah. So that's Leon's first section. And then we cut back to Grace and we get into a section of the game that feels the most Resident Evil 2 makey for me. It feels a lot like the police station. Right down to having like a central quiet area.
And that lobby in the center.
dividing
screams RPD.
And the whole process of that is you go around, you find the puzzle pieces, you unlock, you unpick the route you're supposed to take through the hospital, blah, 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 blah. But of course, with the proviso, of course, that the combat is much more stealth focused. And they do an interesting thing with a lot of the zombies, where a lot of the zombies have like characteristics. Like some of them, like there's a couple that have the singing voices that alert other zombies. There's a couple that have hearing problems. So if you make too much noise, they get very angry.
There's the one that's just constantly cleaning, even though the room is a mess. And let me tell you,
flicking
that's not
lights,
helping.
Cooking.
Yeah. My dad's in the game. My dad, who's obsessed with turning off lights the second someone left a room. They put him in the game, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
So good. What a great cameo.
There's a big fat thing that literally blocks a corridor as it's pushing through it.
They talk, which is one of the interesting things. They say things relating to their like past lives. I can't remember the exact. I think it's in this room we can see in Eric's footage right now. There's a zombie who screams something to do with like I think he works in HR or something, but he screams something relating to his job, and I wish I could remember the exact phrase. But it made me go, oh God, that's like a memory that they have. It's not something relating to right now.
Yeah,
I think part of that's terrifying to me.
The idea behind this is it's whatever strain of whatever flavor of Resi virus these guys have, that they're so freshly infected that they're still keeping those kind of lingering who they were and what they were doing in the last moments of their life. Kind of thing.
And it's still unnerving, not quite so much, because Grace gets a gun, Grace gets various other weapons. She gets like a stealth, like insta-kill device that she can craft on a whim.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as unnerving as the opening segment. It feels more like exploring the house in Resident Evil 7 as Ethan.
It's kind of a mix of that and like you said, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 1's kind of looping design.
So we go through that for a while. There's a few like plots, like tasters, like
meet
Grace
Emily,
runs into
the little girl, the blind girl.
Yes, I was getting to that. Grace runs into like Bald Joker again. Like he's like basically fucking with everyone. And then we get into one of the more eye-rolly aspects of the plot for me. Grace finds a blind little girl in like a little adorable hospital smock in a cage. And there's a corpse right next to the cage, and the corpse wakes up for a second and just goes, "Don't trust it, it's a monster," and then immediately dies. So, of course, Grace decides that it's very important that she let this girl out. And the reason for doing so is really stupid.
Does he say don't trust? I thought he said don't touch. I must have read it wrong.
Well, it's probably that. But yeah, the reason why Grace needs to break Emily out of prison is because she finds a device that has Braille on it. And she can't read Braille. But if you're smart, like me, you might be able to notice that the Braille words she needs to translate are moon, star, and sun. And
so whichever one has the same in the middle would be moon.
And whichever one has only 3 letters would be sun. I was so frustrated by that, because the Grace like, oh, I should go back and pick up the blind girl who can read Braille. It's like, no, you don't. I can press the buttons right now.
Also, wouldn't her job be, she feels like someone who does like puzzles all day.
I was going to say, to be fair, the FBI have very lax tests of intelligence to get in, right? So...
It's also funny that, like, at no point, am I just racist, or the first thing I would be like, why does this girl look like you? This blonde girl looks exactly like you. Why are you not bringing up the fact that this blind girl is just you?
Okay, let's get into that, because the whole plot, the thread running under this is that apparently the evil dudes specifically want Grace because they want to clone Grace's blood, because they have got the impression somehow, wrongly it turns out, that her blood is the key to something. It's the key to acquiring a new bioweapon called Elpis, was it?
Elpis, yeah.
Elpis, that is in the secret Umbrella laboratory underneath the ruins of Raccoon City. And I guess my question is, what?
Yeah, and then there's just kind of a 25th hour reveal that it was Oswald Spencer, was that it? The dude in the wheelchair, like the original of the Spencer Mansion and of Umbrella, that maybe at some point had a change of heart and was like, you know what, I'm going to stop murdering all these little girls and trying to create them for this thing, and I'm going to just happen to adopt a girl who looks very similar to all the girls I've been murdering, and I will not murder this one.
Okay, I think we've interpreted the story differently there. My interpretation
I might also be totally wrong, because I think it's
my interpretation was that Spencer adopts Grace as a random act of kindness, and then all of the people trying to continue Spencer's work got the wrong impression, and they thought Grace was important in some way, so they nicked Grace, so they stole Grace's blood and cloned her a bunch of times.
Yep.
After.
Gotcha. So these are Grace clones.
Yeah.
But the blood doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Gotcha. My mistake.
And why they thought the blood would matter, I don't know. Because when we get to the facility, it turns out all it is like a computer with a password, and the dude who brings you there just says, "Hey, Grace, you know the password. Enter it in." And I'm like, well, where did her blood come into this? Yeah. Why did we think her blood was important?
We just thought she would just know what the I got password DNA running through me.
And she does, but only because her mom said something to her like a couple days, the same 10 minutes that she died. It's like, that's how you remember it, and you get these flashbacks, man. Oh my god, flashbacks as well.
King Commoner might be right, because Chloe, who you play as in the flashback in the orphanage, was born in 1990, which is before Grace was born. I just think
there's an interpretation I had, which was Grace was one of the cloned experiment children that Spencer gave to Grace's mum, adopted mum, whatever she's called, as a I'm done with this. This one is untainted. I'm giving her to you. Well, that's what I kind of interpreted it as. And then all of the bad guys were like, she must be important because Spencer's giving her away.
Alyssa wasn't blood related to her? Because Alyssa looks exactly like her. I just think all blonde women look the same.
Yeah, you just think all blonde women look the same.
In this game, they all do look the same.
Yeah, she seemed blood related to me. I was convinced they were mother and daughter. I guess the question there is, how did Grace end up in a position of being raised by Alyssa? Because Spencer was adopted her, and then Spencer just invited Alyssa in to be interviewed by her because she was a journalist, as I understood it.
But then showed her the child, and I think that's how I viewed it, as he was being like, "This is going to be yours. I'm going to give it to you."
But that's not how journalism works, though. That's unethical journalism. If you go to interview a subject for a cover story and then you take home their baby.
That's not how I interpreted it. I guess my feeling was maybe after the interview, maybe Spencer decided Grace needed to be put in protection with someone, and Alyssa was convenient. I don't know.
The fact that we are all interpreting it in different ways is a bad sign.
I think Resident Evil stories are pretty dumb.
We're all completely confused by this because, as I keep saying, the plot, they try to explain it all at the end, and the explanation doesn't make any sense.
So let's double back after Grace's section. You're escaping with Emily, and then she turns into a big old gooby monster.
Well, before that, we have Leon's next section where he snipes to protect Grace. Not really understanding what Grace is doing, just deciding I guess I'll just save you.
I'll just start blasting.
To be fair, he sees a woman and child in trouble. I would also get the sniper out and try.
Okay, fine. I mean, that's his job. He's he works for a bioweapon defense.
I do like when Leon gets to double back through the clinic and you get to mop up all the zombies that you weren't able to kill with Grace, because it is so easy, and it is great to just run these halls and not care about anything anymore. I love that feeling.
It seems like someone must have had a very atmospheric experience here. Anyway.
So anyways, I start blasting.
Yeah.
Mine was the complete opposite. Most of my zombies were dead. They were.
Yeah. I left a ton of mine alive.
Yeah, I killed a lot of them. I think that might be a problem that Grace is given the capacity to kill quite a lot of the zombies in her stealth section.
Part of the level design of these kind of RE2 make looping levels is you are continually gaining more and more power as you go. You get bigger upgrades to your bags, you get more powerful weapons, and this is in service of taking down the boss enemies that are stalking you and stuff like that. But Grace gains all this power, but then she's never given a climax to be able to finish it. What a great example of this is after Leon, you're in Was this no? Yeah, before Leon's sniper section, he does his section where he kills one of the boss enemies in the clinic. He kills that big fat one.
In like the attic.
Yeah, which I think I don't like. In my opinion, because I feel like it was a challenge for Grace to face, and then to just give that to Leon in a really boring boss fight where he died in a few shots, it kind of sucks. And then to go out into, for me, a clinic that was mostly empty and mostly explored, I was like, okay, well, there's not really much for me to do apart from open those wardrobes that only he could open.
Yeah, with his magic axe, with his Leviathan axe.
And in those, there are items that Grace is never going to be able to use. And also, I thought it was really dumb that in the first one you find after you defeat that fat boy, you get a piece of paper which is telling Leon, hey, here's the code to a safe in the basement, which he's never going to go to. And then that information is effectively beamed into Grace's brain, because you can then use it in the next section. I think that's incredibly
I think that's
dumb.
player knowledge. I think that's video games right there, right?
Yeah, it's video games. But yeah, we forgot about that whole thing.
I hate that.
We forgot about that whole section in the basement, which in retrospect is really just padding things out. Because it's like, hey, we need to, now we can go to the door that leads us out of here. It says, oh, wait, we dropped the key. Now we have to go into the basement to do this whole extra gameplay section.
Are you talking about like in the sewer, like in the sewer laboratory kind of thing? Or the sewer,
well, the mine.
Water treatment center, blood
the
distribution
mine
center?
with the prison in it, the one where you have Big Mama again.
Oh, I like that area.
I like that
rescue
area.
her again. Yeah. But it does feel like the plot doesn't advance throughout that whole section. It's just more gameplay.
True.
We arbitrarily stopped you from getting to the door at the last minute, and now you have to do this whole bunch of other stuff before we can get back to the door.
I mean, you guys are this is just horror games. Like, you guys are saying it like it's like this is committing the first sin ever in Resident Evil history. Resident Evil 4 does the same thing. Like the Resi games we love do this same thing. Like you can knock it that the series keeps playing the same notes, but they're the notes that the series been playing forever.
I like that section.
Well, anyway, we open the door, we get into the courtyard, and then we meet a helicopter pilot. And I'm like, oh, it's not the end of the game yet. You're fucking doomed.
Rip.
So we leave Emily at the helicopter. We do a couple of puzzles, get the key to the helicopter. And then we take off. Zombies swarm the helicopter, and the helicopter crashes. That's when we get into Leon's sniper bit.
Yeah.
And then comes the bit where Emily dies. Emily appears to die, and Grace is all like heartbroken. But then, of course, because Emily was a research subject in an Umbrella facility, she turns into a giant monster. I want to say, the first time I saw that monster, I was immediately reminded of the baby monster from Resident Evil 8. Did anyone else get that?
Yeah,
like
the head
fetus. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it looked exactly like that. Maybe that was a reference in some way.
Yeah. Is it implied that, and I'm sure someone in chat will come in and say yes or no, that the Big Mama enemy, the one that stalks you through the opening of the clinic and then also in this water treatment facility, is it implied that they are also a Grace clone? Because there are two cells.
Yeah, that's the other.
Down in the
that's
bottom.
like the second cell.
Yeah, and there's a hole in the back of it where something's crawled out. And is it implied that that's them?
Yeah,
I think it's more than implied. I think it's flat out
said at some point.
Yeah, because you might have noticed that the big girl monster also has vision problems. Mm-hmm. Much like
it's also wearing a schmuck.
But yeah. Schmuck. I mean, it turns into a monster, and then Grace is all like, "No, stop being a monster! I thought we had a thing going." And then Leon comes in and goes, "Whoops, monster! Time to do my thing!" Bang, bang, monster dead. Grace very upset, and because Grace is very upset, she's like, "Oh, I don't know who to trust. Fuck off, Leon!" And she joins with the villains for a bit.
A truly insane decision. Like, I get that. Like, Grace is traumatized right now and is like, I had one purpose, and it was to protect this girl, and I couldn't fucking do it, just like I couldn't protect my mom, and she's getting that. But then to be like, fuck this guy, I'm going to go with these two clear supervillains, just the most supervillain, and one's super gross looking. Like, I don't want to sit on a helicopter with them. I
think the point is, but they are promising her answers, and at least the guy who isn't Borg Joker seems to be at least trying to be nice.
He's well dressed. Definitely not Wesker, though. Don't say he's Wesker. I don't want anyone saying he's Wesker.
I thought he was Wesker. They don't tell you his name for ages.
Might as well be Wesker. It doesn't matter.
He might as well be Wesker. He has the same powers, the same sunglasses, the same.
He's just Wesker.
Well, he can't be Wesker because Wesker died at the end of Resident Evil 5 in the volcano.
Yeah, it's fine. You could just scoop up some of that molten lava, get that magma into a petri dish.
They should have just charred this character up a little bit and just said he was Wesker. Just like give him a little bit of some burns.
Nothing matters.
He's Wesker in the sense that Sigourney Weaver in Alien Resurrection is the original Ripley.
I just assume everyone's a clone. This whole game everything's a clone.
It's a game about clones, yeah.
Anyway, yes, this takes us into Leon's half of the game, where now that Grace is compromised and is in the clutches of the villains, Leon has to take the front seat. So they're being taken to Raccoon City. Turns out the city we've been in this whole time has been right next to Raccoon City, and we didn't realize. So Leon rides his cool-ass action hero motorbike into the heart. Oh, his cool-ass action hero car. He gets the motorbike.
His Lamborghini.
Porsche, specifically, his Porsche. It was a Porsche sponsorship. They made a big deal out of that.
I was going to say, they show that logo a lot. I just don't know cars.
I don't know cars either. I just remember the Porsche sponsorship from a direct. Yeah.
So he drives it into the ruins of Raccoon City, and he's stopped by a gate that he has to blow up by assembling a bomb from a bunch of components. And this is, I think we've all agreed, the weakest part of the game.
Agreed.
Apparently, one of the original ideas for this game was it was going to be a little more open-worldy, sort of Elden Ring.
Multiplayer and open-worldy.
And you'd go around having multiple boss encounters, and which is probably explains why this part of the game is full of random boss encounters that come out of nowhere and then disappear just as fast. A lot of which are very clearly references to previous Resident Evil boss fights, most notably Mr. X from the RE2 make, who literally drops in through a ceiling with no ceremony, and then you fight him, and then he's gone. And that's it. You never hear from him again. 2
minutes later, there's a tentacle plant monster boss fight.
But it's Plant 43, not Plant 42. It's a much different plant than the one we fought in the first one.
Oh, of course.
It's very different. Yeah.
I want to double back to this Leon section, because I think this section is really, really bad. And I think a lot of it stems from everything we've just seen. Like, we were talking about the personality with the zombies. And how much character they have. Well, now in this section, they spawn out of the ground in droves with the exact same models. None of that personality is there. And yes, the place was nuked and blah, blah, blah. But, narrative justification to have something boring.
Nuked with that special kind of nuke that leaves quite a lot of the infrastructure account intact for some reason.
Tactical nuke with Took.
Yeah. The zombies are generic, come out of the ground like half skeletonized dudes. The environments are brightly lit and repetitive, boring, ruined buildings. So there's no none of the intrigue and atmosphere building. And they introduce the whole element of getting points for kills. So it just literally turns
into bucks.
Yeah, it just turns into the mercenaries.
Do you guys zoom out? Okay. Do you think the literal you playing as Leon, like the feel of third-person combat is good? Because I think it feels good. And I completely agree with you that it goes on too long. I think the environment is drab as hell. I think there's a few standout encounters for me, but mostly I was like, just get me these fucking things and let me move on. But I did still think it kind of has that Resi 4 remake combat, which I think is really fucking good.
I agree with that. Fine. I think it's fine. It's much the same as it was in the RE4 make, as you say, and which was in turn much the same as it was in Resident Evil 4, which was perfectly good.
It's just what it's getting you to do, I feel, is the issue. It's like, go around here, collect zombie bucks so you can make yourself more powerful by doing repetitive puzzles in a repetitive environment, just to get through a gate. And it takes so long. It feels so padded. Comparing that to what we just experienced with Grace in the clinic, it's night and day, but not in a bombastic, fun way like the first clinic section with Leon is, and the sniping. It's just boring, and it really switched me off. And to the point where if I didn't have to finish it for work, this would be where I would put it down. I'd be like, I don't want to play anymore.
But I mean, it's like 90 minutes, right? Like it's.
Oh, it felt longer.
Sure, it felt longer because it wasn't as good as what came before it, but I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I was kind of worried as I was getting to the end of this. I was like, oh no, this is how I'm going to feel the rest of the game. And then I got to that police station. No, wait. And then I got to motorcycle race dogs. Let me tell you.
I didn't like that much.
Felt like Advent Children. You ever see Final Fantasy VII Advent Children? What a film.
Yeah.
Well,
it did feel like the RE7 remake also has motorcycle section, as memory serves.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the tone shifts? Because when I saw Leon jump over a skyscraper, needlessly, might I add, jump over a skyscraper on a motorcycle, I immediately cut back in my brain of thinking of Grace crying over the corpse of a child. And I was like, this is weird because that happened an hour ago.
Leon don't give a shit about any of that.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Hot take, okay?
Yeah.
If they'd kept the Grace to Leon proportions consistent with the first half, like the second half of the game was still mostly Grace with just Leon intersections. If they'd kept it as all Grace and they just had Leon do the motorbike section as one of his interludes between Grace bits, that would have been great. I would have been fine with that.
It would be funny. Yeah.
It would have been really funny if it would occasionally just be like, so Leon's doing all this shit in real time, and every once in a while you cut back to him, and you're like, why is he in a slanty skyscraper?
He's in another crazy situation.
What the fuck is he doing?
But no, we have 90 minutes of boring zombie buck farming, and I think that's a huge issue. It's just like taking the what I think is interesting things of the game and making you do something completely different until you get this bombastic scene, which I dislike its placement, not necessarily what it is. Yeah. I mean, you could criticize the fact that Leon has infinite ammo in these sections and that he's killing these zombie mutant dogs that we've never seen before in the game, and that's the only time you're going to see them. But it's fun. It's meant to be bombastic and crazy. I think it's
the fact that
it's too harshly juxtaposed for me.
The fact that it's in the middle of Leon sections, largely Leon sections, where like the Deserted Raccoon City thing is trying to do more of a melancholy vibe. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. But
especially because you get to then RPD, and it's that whole like, oh, this is like I'm visiting a ghost of the past kind of thing.
Yeah,
and they'll make sure you know that by flashing scenes from RE2 in your face every 5 steps you take.
Yeah, considering that reasonably the RPD would have been close to the epicenter of the blast. That building was remarkably intact.
Yeah, even the secret PS1 and Sega Saturn games you can find in a locker. You can find like old Mega Man games in a locker, which is nice.
Sick.
Yeah, which is part of what makes this feel like a sequel to the RE2 make. But let's move on to like the final section in the lab, the inevitable final lab section of a Resident Evil game. So what happens here is that Leon shows up while Grace is being prompted to put the password into the computer by Not Wesker. And then Leon shows up and says, "Stop, you fiend," and has a fight. And then, how does it happen? Like, they cause some kind of malfunction, or
something
Leon
happens and
Grace,
a crane starts falling off of the thing, and they jump on it.
A crane starts falling off, and they jump off the crane, and they go off to a different part of the lab, and then Not Wesker just stays where he is next to the computer and goes, "Okay, go have a gameplay section. I'll see you later."
You have to get back here, so I'll just stay here.
So that's then we move into like the lab where we go back and forth between Leon and Grace. Leon is at this point feeling symptoms from his disease, and he's feeling very ill. So my brain is going, "We're going to find a cure. We're going to find a cure for this disease because they're not going to kill off Leon in this way, and in such a thoughtful, melancholic sort of way. Much as it would like sort of make sense considering his character's old and sort of arced out at this point. So I immediately knew there was going to be a cure at some point.
Yeah, I mentioned I draw the comparison in my video that it starts feeling like the back half of Metal Gear Solid 4. You start feeling like Old Snake crawling through a microwave, and you do have that thought of, if they really wanted to do something cool, they'd kill this character off. But
but they don't.
They don't.
They don't, of course, because Grace, after getting through her section and getting back to the computer, she watches a tape that tells her the whole story. Thank God it told her, because it didn't tell me. But yeah, she gets to the computer and then she knows what the password is, and this is where the Ending Tron 3000 choice comes up. I'd be interested to know what choice you three made, because my first choice was to destroy it.
So was
to destroy the lab.
So mine too.
That's what Leon made us promise to do. I don't want to disappoint Daddy Leon. And if you do that, you get the bad ending, basically.
Which is the ending
destroys. I got. The whole place destroys. Leon gets a bullet to the head, and Grace is the only survivor, and she's in tears, and it's all very sad.
Yeah.
But it was pretty obvious to me that was the bad ending, so I immediately went back and took the other choice. And
they do kindly let you just immediately they almost say, hey, if you were unsatisfied by that, maybe you'd like to reload right beforehand.
Reload, yeah.
And then it turns out like Grace has figured out intuitively from what she's seen of the interview videos with Spencer that what Elpis is not a bioweapon, that Non-Wesker and Borg Joker are wrong in assuming that. It's actually a cure. It's an antivirus that cures the T-virus. So she jams that right into Leon, and suddenly he's fit as a fiddle. And that concludes Grace's contribution to the plot, because now Leon has to fight the final boss. Because Borg Joker turns into a tentacle monster randomly for no particular reason.
He didn't get killed with his dogs. He's still alive. Yeah. He's got that dog in him.
Sorry, why did he turn into a monster again? Was it just like his inherent mutation, or did he inject himself with something?
But he had the same thing as I think when he's got Leon in the chair, and it's very sexy. He's like, "Ooh, you've got the thing, and I've got the thing." I think. I don't know. Who fucking knows?
Legally, you have to at the end of a Resi game. If you're a bad person, you got to turn into a big monster.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
But not Wesker, still thinking Elpis is a bioweapon, injects himself with it to get more superpowers. I guess that's how he thought it would work. And it turns out it's a cure, and it takes away his existing powers. Ha ha. Fuck you, not Wesker. You were no Wesker at all, turns out. And then
that moment reminded me of something from something else, and I couldn't remember what it was. Of someone thinking they're going to give themselves powers, but the injection actually removes their powers.
Was that in like The Boys or something?
I was about to say, was it The Boys that I was thinking? Like, I couldn't exactly pin down what it reminded me of, but it reminded me of something.
When you say that, it makes me think of the end of Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, where the evil guy drinks what he thinks is the Holy Grail.
Bit of that. You chose poorly.
Yeah. But then not Joker's like, ha ha, it was a cure, and somehow I'm happy about this because this will create chaos somehow. And I'm literally the Borg Joker and I only want chaos. And he turns into a tentacle monster and you shoot him up in what feels like a very token and Resident Evil final boss. First he's on foot and then he turns into a big monster with weak points and that's it. And he destroys the facility while you're fighting him and that's the end.
As Marty says though, like, those repetitive Resi things, like going to a lab and fighting the big tentacle thing at the end, they don't bother me as much because how many games in are we now? Like, they all do the same
9 mainline one, but like 25 kind of offshoots. Probably.
So that doesn't bother me. It's just the journey we take to get there and the narrative leaps it takes to have a conclusion that isn't interesting. It's just that's weird for me.
And what makes the conclusion even less interesting, and this is the one point that I'm going to harp on in a future semi-emblematic, it's when they've won the day and the nice authorities have come in, Chris Redfield's dudes have come in to clean things up. And Grace and Leon are like, taking stock. And Grace says, "Oh, it's such a shame I couldn't save Emily." And then Leon says, quote, "Don't worry, I didn't shoot her in any vitals. We can still save her."
Someone commented, I think it might have been in one of our videos, and I don't remember which one it was. It might have been this morning on yours, Jay. That the explanation is that Leon dissected a monster like that in high school instead of dissecting a frog, and knew exactly where the vital points were, because that is insane.
I absolutely, that is my biggest gripe in the game. So I didn't know this happened. Right, because I got the bad ending and was just honestly happy the game was over.
I'm surprised you stopped there.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's the ending, cool, bye. And Jess was reading something to do with your semi.
It might have been, she commented on my script, so she probably read it there.
And she was like, oh, what's she called, Emily? And she was like, oh yeah, Emily survives at the end. And I was like, what are you on about? No, she doesn't. That's so crazy. And she was like, no. And then I looked up the other ending and I was like, what?
You guys are glossing over the best part of it. It's that Grace adopts her, and there's a photo on her desk at work of her and Emily is still wearing the dirty smock from the clinic. It's like, you adopted this girl, you didn't get her a second shirt.
Well, that's what made me think this was a last-minute change. Also, the fact that they don't actually show them rescuing Emily, they just cut to after the fact, because presumably they couldn't get the actor back to do another scene.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Everything to do, like, I really love the build-up with Emily. I understand the criticisms, but like the having to care for this child and carry them around, not necessarily with the puzzles, but like the caring aspect and having something look after. I want to say, if they'd thought all along they were going to have her come back at the end, they would have given her more of a presence in the second half of the game. They wouldn't have killed her off at the halfway point. Yeah, well, they probably would have been the motivation, Grace's motivation to want to go with the bad guys, right? Because they want answers to save Emily. But I also just think the fact that Emily does die and turn into this horrific monster is a really powerful moment if you allow Grace to reluctantly fight them. But I think Leon just busting in, and in this fight, I have the footage. It's 13 bullets it takes to kill it. Which, by the way, it says, Leon knows the perfect place to shoot. I shot that motherfucking baby in the head 13 times.
Well, so that's not where the heart is.
Yeah, and in that fight, you cannot change weapons and you cannot move. It's static and takes 13 shots. I'm just like, this is such a waste of what could have been a really powerful moment for Grace. Like, get to play it, and they give it to Leon. And then they say, no, actually, that's fine. I didn't kill the baby, actually.
I feel like they could have fixed that relatively easily by having Leon blast away at her while Grace is yelling no. The monster kind of slinks away somewhere. And then the way that the bad guys convince Grace to go with them is like, if you come with us, we will give you the cure to save her.
Yeah.
Even if they just lie to her. Grace would be like, okay, fuck this guy. I'm going to go with them because all I care about is saving this girl. And I feel like you can then...
Well, they'll probably complicate things later when it turns out they do have a cure. And,
it's one of those things that starts off as a lie, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, we thought it was a lie, but it's the truth.
But then imagine if Grace finds out that there's a cure and she's like, oh my God, the imprisoned Emily back at the clinic, somehow I could go cure her. That's my motivation. I'm going to do everything I can, but no.
I can't remember the last time my opinion shifted so much during the course of a game. I was really enjoying playing the game in the first half, and when I finished the game, I left the game thinking, well, that's not going to be a very positive review. That was all kind of dumb.
It was the zombie bucks for me. As soon as I got that wristband, and it was like, kill zombies to get money, it nosedived, and I was just like, please stop, please pull up. Please pull up. And then
I don't know. For me, it did.
The ending.
For me personally, it did. Like I really did like the Raccoon City Police Department stuff. It is absolutely tugging on nostalgic heartstrings. But I've been playing these games for 30 years, and it works on me. Sometimes that nostalgia just fucking works on me, and I get it. Like if you are immune to that sort of kind of saccharine way of storytelling, then I get not being able to swallow that pill. But it works.
I'm not immune. I just think it was sloppy. I just think going in and having the literal cutscenes flashback, having Leon look down where that the father killed that little girl, and he looks down and he just goes,
I liked that. It worked for me. It really worked for me.
Okay, Marty, he looks down at this child and he goes, this memory of that child, and he goes, never again. Leon, you absolute prick, you killed a child 2 hours ago.
You also let that nurse die when you could have just been like, oh, nope, go get away, don't get chainsawed.
This is so dumb.
Well, Resident Evil protagonists have never had good reflexes at the best of times when they're in cutscene mode.
Not at all.
I think I'll give the story props. The fact that the bioweapon turned out to be a cure in the end, it did feel like a twist on the usual Resident Evil formula. Yeah. And it was kind of satisfying to see not Wesker inject himself with it and realize they'd been wrong all along, because Resident Evil has a problem with the smug, hateable villains not getting a proper comeuppance, I think.
Yeah. But then it immediately just has you fight another big monster. That's not him.
Well, the thing is, the big monster you fight is Victor Gideon, the character you've been with since the beginning. Not Wesker's only been in three cutscenes up until this point, and has been in, if you combine all that time, it's like 10 minutes. I do also like that he gets the comeuppance, but I think that would have been way more powerful with Victor, Joker, not Joker Borgman. rather than this not Wesker, because I kind of like Victor Gideon, the way he's introduced, and then he's carrying Grace down the street, and then he just casually pulls out that thing, and it's the most casual shots I've ever seen in my life. I was sold on him immediately.
I kind of wanted to unlock that gun for a replay, and during that little bit with Leon, when there's a bunch of pedestrians, you can shoot them and turn them into zombies. I was like, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah. He clearly didn't give a fuck. That's very jokery in that aspect. All right, super chats.
Supper chops.
Suppies.
Starting with Raven's Weekly Word of the Week, week 42, eschewing. As in, unfortunately, I will be eschewing this episode since I haven't gone to play RE9 yet.
Damn, the shewers.
Yeah. Eschewing, of course, means, Marty?
Avoiding?
Yeah, refraining from.
Refraining from.
Like, shunning completely.
Damn, the shunners.
Then Frogpart goes 499 and says, we'll watch this later as I haven't finished RE9 yet, but just wanted to shout out how gross the giant spider was. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to have a boss fight against a giant spider, I'd say. Just this was a boss fights that just come and go.
Do you guys have any, people, obviously arachnophobia is a very real thing. There's certain games with like accessibility options to remove it. Are there any like specific enemy types or things that are like triggers to you in games? You're like, I don't like seeing blank snakes, anything spiders, gore, teeth gore, that kind of thing.
I mean, not really. In real life, I kind of have a problem with spiders, but never in a video game because it just feels, I'm in control. I've got proper context.
Yeah. It's also so big. Like at that point, it's like kind of just not even a spider. It's just a big monster.
Yeah. I mean, it's the sort of like unknowable factor of spiders. Like, what is going on underneath all those horrible legs?
Yeah.
But when it's all fully on display, then I'm not that bothered.
Yeah. It's underwater for me. Like we played Iron Lung, me and Yachts. Like,
oh yeah,
I have thalassophobia, so anything in deep ocean, just what could be in there, just really scares me.
No, that's pretty spooky for me too. I agree.
Sprim.
No, it's funny. I don't really have anything that I can't really deal with in video games. I guess I'm always able to. I've played so many video games. I'm able to just separate.
Did you, after you became a parent, did you become kind of more antsy around like child harm in movies and games?
Yes, I guess it's not necessarily the same thing, but yeah, I remember being. I was more affected by the start of Death Stranding 2 because it was happening to a little baby. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, save the little baby. Stop being mean to the little baby. Yeah. The little baby can't help itself.
That feels very normal.
And yeah, I did feel like a pang when Emily got killed. But then, the bullshit happened.
Yep.
Anyway, Waiting for Seaman gives 100 arses and says, yes, the podcast from 4 people that played RE9 where 3 talk about it, 2 didn't like it, and 1 did like it. Now to wait for Resident Evil X and Marty's video about how it is about Mega Man.
Listen, we don't know it's not about Mega Man yet. Pragmata coming soon.
Like half of Resi 9.
I mean, the shit they've been playing around with the titles for a couple of installments. The Resident Evil X is going to be a real gift, isn't it?
Oh man, there's so many words. Extinction.
There's so much you could do with the X.
I feel like Extinction might be the name of a Resi movie, though. So that's tough.
God damn it.
Or let us call it Rex, R-E-X, and he'll fight zombie dinosaurs.
Oh my god. Finally,
oh my god, I would be so here for like a Dino Crisis style Resi game.
Oh, that's amazing. Really good, Bash and Fluff. Biohazard, B10 Hazard. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
We're there.
Sinners the Hedgehog gives $5. Says, had my 31st birthday on Saturday, a lemon meringue pie because it was pie day. And VR, LOS as presents. Having more fun with it than Yahtzee ever did. Weird flex, but okay.
I like the lemon meringue pie.
Also, enjoyed your pie. Happy birthday.
Yeah, love a lemon meringue pie.
I didn't even realize it was pie day. I'd have made a pie. I often make pies.
Fucking idiot.
I often make pies on non-pie day, but I made jam drop cookies this weekend.
You make pies casually on the weekend and you didn't make one on pie day? You twat.
Are you going to make some Irish soda bread tomorrow in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, or do you not like the Irish?
No, soda bread sucks.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I ain't got a problem with the Irish. I didn't depress them over centuries.
No,
I mean,
your fault.
Perhaps
not
you're
you
confusing me. I mean, yes, I'm English, but I like.
And you hate the French. I thought it would just be like anyone.
Well,
you hate them all.
Well, the French and England rivalry was more of a rivalry between equals. But, you know, the Irish is one of the many things English people feel guilty about. But the rivalry with the French, we do not.
Good. Yeah, because we oppressed people that weren't our equals, right? Yachts? That was the...
I don't like where this is going. I shouldn't have brought that up. I shouldn't have even brought up soda bread. I made the mistake.
Yeah.
Corned beef and cabbage, y'all.
It all started with lemon meringue pie.
I like lemon meringue pie. I made mini lemon pies recently.
MLPs.
Then the sandwich Eric gives $10 and says Chef Eric's SWG sandwich combo.
So a little bit of context before you continue. Last week, Chef Eric has been building sandwiches to each of us. There's an actual chef been building sandwiches for each of us, and this is awesome. And he's already got 5 of us down.
All right. Okay, mine would be smoked brisket smothered in Australian cheddar and white American cheese with vegetable, apple, and tomato chutney on a hoagie. That's
and what was
good.
The name of it? Although, the sesquipedalian? I don't know that
word. The sesquipedalian, which means given to the use of long words.
Oh, well, there you go. That was a tough one to say.
Yes. I think you did pretty well, but I would have replaced the chutney just with Branston pickle, which is basically what you're talking about anyway, Chef Eric.
I like how it taps into you with a little bit of the Australian cheddar, a little bit of the American.
And a hoagie is like a long roll, right?
Long roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like long words.
And you're a tall man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here comes Jay's. Chef Eric's SWG sandwich combo number 7, the Jamate, aka the Miner. Peppered turkey breast with Gouda, marinated tomatoes, fennel, cabbage, and apple slaw, red onion, lemon pepper aioli on toasted sourdough.
And to be clear, minor, M-I-N-E-R, not a minor like M-I-N-O-R.
Yes.
Yeah, I am 31.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good, yeah.
I fuck up any of these sandwiches. Jack's was called the floppy dong. It had a sausage on it. So that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig all of these. I want to hear more.
I'm not down on turkey as a meat. I find it quite bland.
I love turkey.
I love turkey. I think it's my favorite sandwich meat.
Huh.
I think for a sandwich, yeah, but if you're just getting like a cut for like, you know, a roast or something, I don't think it's the best.
I agree.
I do like it. But in a sandwich, turkey fucks.
No,
not my favorite hot cut.
No, I'm ham all the way in sandwiches. I'm a ham man.
Love ham. Not gonna say no to ham.
Tsunami Dusha gives $20. Hooray! Thank you. And says nothing.
I feel douched.
And Mr. Sadface gives $5 and says, I know Elpis means hope, but when they say it, I just hear Bepis, which probably says more about me than the game. Great reviews, even when I disagree.
What is Bepis?
I don't know.
Bepis, it's like Pepsi. It's like Conky Bepis.
What the fuck? That's not an exclamation. That made me more confused. It's like Pepsi, like Conky Bepis.
Well, you're confused because I think Yahtzee skipped a dono.
Oh, I see. Bepis is a meme. Relating to Pepsi.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the meme Bepis that would help? What did Yahtzee skip? Yahtzee skipped something apparently.
Oh, here we go. Sinus the Hedgehog gives $2 and said, I say Yahtzee's right. The Resident Evil cycle happened in one game. Referencing a video I once made on the cycle of Resident Evil, where I say Resident Evil goes through the cycle of having a good game and then fucking it up by reintroducing all the shit from previous games and then ending with a big wall of snot in a lab.
Is this
that doesn't explain Bepis at all?
No, it doesn't. Okay. I just wanted to segue to the fact that y'all skipped one. You're not going to get
thought
Bepis.
This would unlock Bepis, and it didn't.
It's just a way of referring to Pepsi.
Now, Bepis is a meme where the meme I'm seeing is that they've got like a Pepsi logo and then a normal looking dog. And then underneath that, there's a logo that looks like the Pepsi logo, but one of the P's has been turned upside down. And the S and the I have been switched around to say Bepis. And then there's a very like silly looking dog next to that.
Conk, and Bepis. There's Coke and Pepsi.
There you go. What the fuck? Anyway, moving on from Bepis, Peter Parker SL gives $5. It says, story-wise, would you recommend RE9 to someone who hasn't played an RE game before? Or are there a lot of lore callbacks you need to know beforehand? No, I definitely would not recommend RE9 to someone who hasn't played an RE game before. You'll probably be very lost at the end.
I mean, we were also pretty lost at the end. to be fair.
But you could play Resi 2 Remake, which I think is actually a really good place to start.
Yeah. Wait, I think you could also just play Resi 2 Remake and then play this, and you'd get most of what you need.
Hang on a second. Does RE9 at any point explain who Oswald Spencer is?
No.
You just kind of assume he's like
for the most part. For most of it, in his subtitles, I don't think it even says his name.
Yeah.
For half of it.
For the record, he was the guy who invented the T virus.
Yeah, he invented the mansion as well. He invented mansion, large homes.
The mansion in the first game is called Spencer Mansion because it's his mansion.
And he loved it so much, he's like, you got to build the exact same thing everywhere else in the world. Anytime there's a spooky mansion, you got to make it. You got to just the same layout.
Yeah, and stick a lab underneath it.
Yeah.
Sovereign46 gives €10 and says, fun fact, there are actually 2 fat zombies in the clinic, one stalking Grace and one in the attic. Grace can kill hers with enough effort, and Leon will still encounter his in the attic later. Yes, I knew that.
2 of them?
I knew that because I killed the first fat one by sticking 3 injectable insta-kills into its bum.
What?
Damn. He was too scary for me. I didn't want to go anywhere near him. He was too big.
So they just copy-pasted the boss upstairs for Leon to kill?
Yeah, and there's a document somewhere which mentions the fact that there's 2 of these fat lads.
Really,
I missed that.
Really quick. Did you guys ever futz with the perspectives for either of the characters, or did you play Grace first person, Leon third person?
I played
as God intended. Yes.
So did I. On my second playthrough, I threw Grace third person, and let me tell you, those games are better third person. I think across the board. I think. Those games, also my hot take, every game is better third person. But
what about it do you think is improved by being...
I like seeing, there's also a lot of really good character animations from Grace that you do not get in first person. The first time you fire Requiem, she literally goes like, fuck! And visibly shakes afterwards. And I think it's one of the coolest small details. Yeah, that they just...
How many of those animations are just hidden because most people aren't going to do that? That's crazy.
A lot of work.
See, I don't think
RE7
would have worked from a third-person perspective. I think that game is more about feeling trapped and enclosed, and being stuck in the first-person perspective helps with that.
Yeah, you would need to redesign that whole thing.
Yeah. Santa's Hedgehog comes back with $5 and says, haven't played RE9, but seen funny mods. Fave ones are the invisible motorcycle chase to the tune of Crazy Frog, and replacing Spider with Thomas the Tank Engine. I feel like they put Thomas the Tank Engine in every Resident Evil game now.
And Shrek.
It started with Skyrim, right? That should become the go-to.
What does he do? What is this image that we're looking at right now?
That's the motorcycle chase, but with the motorcycle made invisible.
But what's the big sword?
I don't know. Maybe is that a special weapon you can get?
I don't
know.
Anyway. Millennium Days gives £5, says, I disagree a little on the cycle. I think since the midsection is weakest this time, so it's as if RE4 went Village Island Castle instead.
That's a good way to put it. I do agree that the midsection is weakest.
Witticism gives $10, says, I appreciated the meta-narrative of RE9. Leon's drug along as basically a corpse back to Raccoon City, so the new character can release a cure-all and finally shed the baggage of the T-Virus plotline. Yes, well, if you think that's the end of the Resident Evil saga, I'm afraid you're in for a bit unpleasant surprise.
There's even the post-credits scene, right, of the 2 hunks but not hunks going down there and rooting around.
So the dude you fight as Leon is specifically intended to be hunk, is it?
I don't know. Or I think it's supposed to invoke hunk.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's hunk, but I don't think they ever flat out say that.
It looks like hunk. He's wearing the same mask and it's voiced by the same guy. I just don't think they had the balls to say it was hunk because they might want to bring him back for something in the future.
But I like that Leon wouldn't know that he's a man named Hunk, so they just call him Commander. I kind of like that. Shout out to hunks. Also, you can find Tofu in the RPD. He'll pop out of corners and you can shoot him and he goes, yeah. It's very fun.
Yeah. Also, we thought we'd shed the baggage of the T-Virus plotline when RE4 came along and the last Plagas was introduced. But it was not to be. Yeah. Waiting for Seaman gives 100 asses and says, I agree the jumping from the building was out of character for Leon. That is why I prefer RE8, where Chris appears, kills your wife, kidnaps you and your baby, and like Tsunami Dusha, says nothing.
Is Tsunami Dusha Chris from the opening act of Resident?
Oh my god!
Damn.
See,
Damn.
I just think Chris was having a bad day. He just could not be bothered to talk to anyone after all that.
At the very least, he could have left a note.
Yeah.
You always leave a note.
Witticism gives $5 and says, also the pharmaceutical elite using the literal blood of children to simulate immortality is strangely topical, given the state of the world. You're not one of them Pizzagate people, are you, Witticism?
The worst things about crazy conspiracy theorists are that now the conspiracies are just real. So that's...
Yeah. Well, they're sort of defunct because the government no longer keeps anything secret. They're just like, yeah, we invaded Iran. We didn't have a reason. Are you going to say we shouldn't have? What are you, unpatriotic?
We live in a hellscape. We need Leon.
Yeah.
Leon for president.
Leon, come along and murder the entire American administration.
We need you, Leon.
Yeah. Do what you did at the start of Resident Evil 6.
There you go.
Sonic the Hedgehog gives $2. Says, boats and hoes, boobs and booze. Who's with me? Marty?
Sure. What? Why did I get called out for that? I mean, I do. Yeah, I love, boobs and booze. I'm not crazy about boats, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I like most of those.
Have you gotten yourself one of them anime boob mouse pads yet?
I don't have a mouse pad. I'm a dry guy, and I feel like it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Fucking what?
Yeah, just right here. I mean, this is just the mouse, but yeah.
You raw dogging it on the desk right now?
Raw dogging on the desk. That was the term I was looking for, not a dry guy.
Yeah,
a dry guy is worse.
A dry guy is like a variant Mario enemy, I think.
It's just a boner that falls apart. And then
his mouth is not lubed up. I don't like it.
Yeah, dry guy. It's fine.
If you could combine the shy guy with the dry bones, that would be a dry guy.
Dry guy, yeah.
That has to be like an unlockable character in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
The new one. I always forget what's the world.
Moving on, KV gives $10 and says, the biggest sin for me was no Claire, not even a mention. Capcom keeps forgetting that it's Claire who saved Sherry from Raccoon City, not Leon. Well, nobody cares about Claire. They did her in Code Veronica. No, they did her in Code Veronica, and nobody gave a shit. And she was in Revelations 2, and nobody gave a shit there neither.
Also, from all reports, Code Veronica remake is going to be announced later this year, so Claire is going to be the new spotlight character for Resident Evil for the next 2 years.
Ooh, let's see how they make Steve less of a twat.
Impossible. He's still got 2 guns, though, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's why he's a twat. That's a big part of why he's a twat.
He's got 2 guns. You can look cool with 2 guns. Steve just happens to look very dumb with 2 guns.
Gun professionals always say dual wielding is dumb because you can only aim down one set of sights at a time. Unless you've got eyes on stalks.
What about the Matrix?
Tell that to my shotguns.
I think you might be thinking of Equilibrium rather than the Matrix.
I think I might. Well, I think they both use 2 guns.
They are constantly dual wielding in the Matrix all the time. I don't think anyone holds a singular gun. That's a lie. I'll take it all back.
Deep Scrub gives $10 and says Gideon mutates at the end because he's a nemesis, as revealed by a throwaway line from Leon. They didn't earn using him as a boss, and he was wasted, especially having Leon fight him instead of Grace.
He's a You could be a nemesis? I thought Nemesis was just a dude. I thought everything's a tyrant, and Nemesis is just a flavor of tyrant.
Yeah, like the Nemesis, I think that's pretty much made clear, isn't it? Nemesis is just a tyrant variant.
Lemon meringue tyrant.
Lemon meringue tyrant. Nemesis was just a dude. Everything's just a dude when you boil it down.
Bring him back. Like they brought back. Bringing back Mr. X was so dumb.
It wasn't that Mr. X. It was just Mr. X.
Shut up. He was wearing a black leather coat and looked exactly like Mr. X.
How they dress him off the assembly line. Bum, 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 that's the assembly line.
They have a rack of coats that they come here, put this on.
Put your uniform on. Bust through the ceiling.
Multingve, fill my ass up, rather. Remember, 27 months in the value tier, says, I don't know if this is a thing for other RE games, but the boss fights are just awful. There's no reliable way to dodge, and I just had to tank the damage. I did find that in the first stage of the Borg Joker boss fight, that I really couldn't dodge his attacks very well.
The one at the very end?
Yeah. Just had to tank it, and then he turned into a giant monster. I was like, oh, thank goodness. These dudes are always much easier to avoid their hits.
I just think a lot of the boss fights, I say this in my video, a lot of the boss fights in Resi games in general are just a bit wank, like mechanically.
Yeah.
Thematically, a lot of the times they can be cool, but it's just run away until you have a clear shot at most likely their weak point, and then run away again.
See, that's why the boss fights in Resident Evil 4 are such a strong showing.
C4's great.
Del Lago, the fight with it, the Predalienators in the sewer.
This game didn't have a dog come and help you. That's one thing. It should have had that dog. What if that dog came back and he was like 4
Yeah. Apart from on the motorcycle, this game didn't have dogs.
No, yeah, that's true. But it did have Spideys. Didn't have any crows. We need more crows. Bring back birds.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Miller gives $9.99 and says, where do you think they should take the series next? Not to disrupt the flow, feel free to shelve this, lol.
Off a cliff.
Well, they're doing the Code Veronica remake, and you know what?
Sounds like they're doing Code Veronica and Zero.
I've heard they're going to do like Resident Evil 1 remake a second time so that it's more in line with how all the remakes are.
And if you just wait long enough, you just do 4 again.
I think that was all but confirmed, right? And then people were really upset that they're not going to remake 5, which I think is a mistake. I don't think they should remake 5.
Well, I'd say go in an entirely new direction like they did with 7, but you know they'll just bring all the fucking Umbrella shit back in for the immediate sequel, so why even make more Resident Evils? Just make new games.
It'd be fun to just have a whole game that feels like Grace.
Do REX, do Rex, and do a fucking Dino Crisis.
What they should do is they should make the next Resident Evil game in the line of like Resident Evil 4 or 7, where it's a completely new horror idea. And then once they're done, go back, white out the name Resident Evil, put a different title in, remove all references to Resident Evil, and then sell it. And I guarantee it would sell just as well if they just said it was by the same team as Resident Evil.
It would not sell just as well if it wasn't called Resident Evil. I think its name is one of those franchise names that does carry a lot of sway.
This sold a silly amount of copies.
It's the best-selling Resident Evil game after 2 weeks.
Okay,
ever.
Call it Resident Evil : and then completely different subtitle, and then call the sequel Subtitle 2 without the Resident Evil, and then move on, and then go on from there.
I don't know. I don't know. What's a name? Is just a name. What's in a name?
Well, you just said the name is what makes it a huge seller.
Yeah, but I don't think. Why does it having the name Resident Evil impact you at all? Like impact the.
Because the fact that Resident Evil 7 was called Resident Evil meant that they felt the obligation to bring all the Resident Evil plot into it in the second game, and that's when it all went to shit.
Gotcha.
Anyway, actually before the end of the first game, because of course Chris Redfield materializes at the end of Resident Evil 7, and already I had a sinking feeling when they did that
with one of his many makeovers.
Yeah,
but I recognize him, Mr.
He was skinny
X.
Chris. Anyway, Mr. Sadface gives $5 and says, still think Pragmata was going to be Mega Man meets The Last of Us, the way XCOM had that XCOM meets Gears of War. I think never played it from the 360. Yeah, I think you're referring to the Bureau. The Bureau XCOM Declassified is the game you're referring to there.
That's right. Pragmata is pretty much Mega Man with we got to take care of a child. So many things are just about taking care of a child.
Is the child going to die and then Leon's going to bust in and kill it in 13 shots?
But don't worry, at the end of the game, she's fine. But she's still wearing the same smock. Don't ask any questions.
No, those 13 headshots, I missed the brain every single shot.
To be fair, he did shoot that one. When he quote unquote killed the first monster, the thing reformed and came back. So you can blow its head off and it'll still come back. I don't know how you actually kill it. Just sunlight, I guess.
Oh shit! Sorry. Sorry to interrupt, but I was just getting ahead of something because I looked at the next super chat. But something I just looked up made me go, "Oh shit!" But never mind. As you were.
I mean, we're on the next super chat.
We're done.
Okay. Rhetorical bullshit. Rhetorical bullshit gives $5 Canadian and says, "Bort will leave the galaxy for good." Yards on chapter 4. Glad to finally have it on Kindle. And I was about to say, yes, I'm still waiting for the paperback version to release. I'll let you know. But I just checked its Amazon page, and what do you know? The paperback version is available right the fuck now.
Let's go.
Free delivery Wednesday, March 18th. That might just be for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you want the paperback, go get. Now I have to do a bunch of plugs everywhere. Ah, shit.
I'll know.
Sorry. I'm in the middle of a podcast. I can't plug right now.
But make sure it's available. You don't want to be the plug that cried wolf.
Oh, I just checked the Amazon page, and yeah, you can add it to cart. You can buy now.
Thank you, Jeffrey Bezos.
I should check my email this morning. Yeah, my agent let me know. Sorry, I don't check my email often enough, agent. Oh, I'm excited now.
Yeah, congrats, dude.
I got a second wind, as they say.
Oh.
Sterling gives $10 and says, do you think Resident Evil could, or maybe should, pull off a transition to full immersive sim? No. Why? Feel like the clinic already creeps that way, such as using a bottle to trick blind zombies to kill Chunk and others.
I did like that stuff. I liked using and needing to use things to lure them out of the way if you didn't want to use any ammo at the early stages.
Yeah.
That clinic is amazing. I love it.
I don't know. I mean, Like immersive sim is very interpretive.
Sure.
I tend to think of it as any game where you can use events to get into a place as an alternative to a different route.
Which I think is hard for horror, because I think horror needs to be very orchestrated.
You couldn't have vents in a horror game? Have you played Alien Isolation?
It's bad horror game.
No, it's too long. I think that game's good. It just loses.
If it was just
steam.
the clinic, it would have been fine. But then fucking Leon
If they didn't add Leon into Alien Isolation, I'd be all over it.
That's exactly how I feel about Alien Isolation.
If he didn't come in at a random cutscene and 13 shot the alien,
you look at your watch. We're still fighting this fucking alien.
All right, where were we? Millennium Days gives £5. Says, for fun, what's a zombie habit you'd retain? Are you a singing zombie? Okay,
Ooh,
if I was,
that's a fun question.
I could be a bread making zombie.
Sure. You'd be in the kitchen just like kneading dough. You'd like put your hand in the oven would be on fire and you wouldn't care because you'd be burning, but you're a zombie. Yeah, that's fun.
I'd crack open someone's head, pull the brain out, and then just go into a trance and knead it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Mine would be I'd be reading the comments on this recent Resident Evil video I just released and crying.
Jay, how dare you have a different opinion?
I know,
all
right?
I have to say is how dare you?
I know. How dare I explain it in 18 minutes?
How dare you take nearly the episode of a sitcom? I'd be watching just be watching anime probably.
Fair enough.
Drawing pictures of my waifus.
Sir John Arbuckle in the main chat said Yahtzee would retain spoiling games. It's a spoiler cast. John Arbuckle, it's my job. It's my job right now.
That is true. This is a green light right here.
I also make a series, and a lot of us make deep dive videos into specific aspects of games, and then to come in and be like, "Motherfucker, you spoke about the game in this video."
I think he's referring. Yahtzee has had a tendency to kind of willy-nilly some spoilies in conversations. Not talking about videos.
Review?
No, not videos.
Like
not videos.
Well, every now and again in reviews, I've been known to. I've been better lately.
You fire from the hip. That's fine.
Spoilers.
I like it. That's you.
I don't. I aim for the fucking head. I will spoil the shit out of everything.
But it turned out none of the vital organs were in the head, so it's fine.
Thank God.
Right, Fist Up and gives $5. Says, due to not having a dog in this fight, and I can't be asked to start, didn't have PS1, I will say I too am a ham man. Pig ass for the win, Slainte. Whatever that means.
I think that's Gaelic, I believe, and or Irish.
Well, I probably mispronounced it horribly then.
That's fine. We know your opinions on the Irish. Positive.
Got me.
Relatively positive. I like that you said can't be asked to start, didn't have a PS1. It's been off the PS1 for 25 years.
Holy shit. Yeah. Just looked it up. Apparently it's pronounced slauncher.
Slauncher.
Slauncher. It's a common toast meaning health or cheers.
Ooh.
Slauncher. Irish soda bread.
Slauncher.
Slauncher.
Makes me think of lawn chair. Just holding up a drink and saying, lawn chair.
Getting a nice iced tea and sitting on your slawn chair.
Slawn chair.
Waiting for Seaman gives 100 arses. Says, I hope RE9 has a Chris DLC where it explains where he's after RE8's events, probably on an island training by punching boulders. Jokes aside, won't Claire have the T-Virus too? Seems Chris didn't care. See, that was something I wondered about, because in the ending, you see the Cure get like thrown down the abyss, and they save, and Grace saves one tube to stick in Leon's neck. But then in the ending, like Leon rings up Sherry and says, I got a dose with your name on it. And I'm like, okay,
I assume someone could take his
He...
blood and make a cure out of it, and then ostensibly
he made Leon even more important.
Give it to Rebecca and Jill and all those.
Well, what if they want to cure someone who doesn't? Well, what if they want to cure someone who doesn't have Leon's blood type? A?
Get fucked.
His blood type's A? Why do you know his blood type?
It's OB positive or nothing.
You know, knowing Japanese media, they probably have established what Leon's blood type is.
Why do they? Is that like a big thing that Japanese people all know? Is that why like Japanese games will always tell you a character's blood type? And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't care.
It's like star signs in the West. It's just there's this whole philosophy of personality types related to blood types.
Gotcha.
But for the record, according to this wiki, Leon has blood type A.
Congrats. A.
Yeah, A dickhead.
And his date of birth was 1977, if you're interested.
Damn! But maybe he was born the day Star Wars came out.
That's why he's got those fuzzy ears.
So he'd be 6 years older than me. So he'd be 48 now.
Mm-hmm.
In this year.
Still looks good. I'm going to tell you.
48 isn't old. 48 isn't old.
Pretty old, mate. Bag of dust, basically.
It's middle-aged. You've still got like another...
bag of dust?
You've still got like another 40 years of life left. That's not the Twilight.
What country are you living in?
Twilight?
Well, I'm a British citizen, so I can go back and get the free healthcare whenever I want.
You can go back and your life expectancy jumps up by 10 years.
Fuck.
Anyway, Boo Ray gives $5 and says, I loved when RE2 Remake came out. There was a mod where X Gone Give It To You would play whenever Mr. X showed up. Well, that's a gimme, isn't it?
RIP DMX.
And that's also a good song to play when someone is coming to give it to you.
I mean, it's arguably the all-time greatest song to play when someone's coming to give it to you.
Yeah, whatever it is. Someone's coming to like pass you a baton in a relay race. Just have them play X Gone Give It To You.
Yeah. So you drop a pen in class and someone's going to give it to you?
Yeah.
Huh.
X Gone
Someone's
give
coming
it
to deliver your food at the door?
Yeah. X going to deliver dinner to you.
God damn it. We did it.
We did it. That's the last of the super chats. Hope you all enjoyed the spoiler cast. Hope you weren't too spoiled by the game and are no longer inclined to buy it. But hey, maybe that's a positive because it doesn't give money to the rich cunts who run the games industry. So there you go.
What? Of all the AAA publishers, it feels like Capcom is like the least evil. They're still evil. Fine. Everyone's still evil.
Yeah.
But they're like the least evil.
On a scale of evil to evil.
A scale of evil to evil. They're still evil, but they're like lowercase e.
Well, if you're interested, you can watch my fully ramblomatic review on Resident Evil Requiem. That came out last week. You can watch Marty's video on how Resident Evil 9 feels like the most Resident Evil of all the Resident Evils, or whatever the fuck he said. And you can watch Jay's video that came out today on Resident Evil and how it sucks. You seem surprisingly more vehement than me on this subject.
I like that in the episode. It's a long one. It was actually kind of difficult to put together. Half of it is me gushing about Grace and Grace's sections, should I say, and how much I enjoyed the clinic. And then the other half is me having one of the biggest breakdowns I've had in a video of just like really disliking the Leon sections. So
fair enough.
Yeah, check it out. Read the comments. I'm sure they're great.
We promised no more videos on Resident Evil, except for maybe the next semi-ramblomatic. But outside of that, no more videos on Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll just have to put up with the next semi-ram, and then it'll just be Pokopia videos. A thick wall of Pokopia. I
think we're gonna hit that same wall again. Mine should be out by the end of the week, though, so I think I'll get a little ahead of it.
You got a couple weeks for me.
Yeah, that's not this week's fully ram. This week's fully ram will be. Actually, am I allowed to say? Because embargo is not.
You are allowed to say. The embargo is public.
Okay, well, it's going to be about Crimson Desert, and you all need to know, listen carefully, because I know someone's going to be shitty about this when it happens. You all need to know that Fully Ramblomatic is going to go out later than usual on Wednesday, because the embargo only drops fairly late in the day, 6 p.m. CT, I think it is?
5 p.m. CT, so it'll be 6 hours later than it normally is, still on Wednesday. It'll be like right when Yahtzee Tries normally ends.
So everyone who's listening to this, keep that in mind and make sure to tell all your little Fully Ramblomatic liking friends that as well. So as many people as possible know and don't get blindsided when the video is 6 hours late on Wednesday.
But that's fun because it means your review will go up right alongside every review. A fresh, right out the oven.
Man, that never happens.
Very rare.
Yahtzee Tries, of course, is also going to be on Wednesday, my indie game stream, and the Yahtzee Tries summary video, in which I give little mini reviews of all the games I've streamed, will be out on Sunday by the grace of editor Jesse Schwab. So that's my stuff.
By the Ashcroft of Jesse Schwab.
Oh, what else? Oh, I didn't even intend that. What else we got?
Jay.
Devheads on Friday. What's it going to be on? Whatever things happen in the industry up until that point.
You haven't figured it out yet, have you?
We figured out
it's
on
Tuesdays. It's a podcast. We only figure out 24 hours in advance.
Yahtzee, you pick the Yahtzee Tries games like 4 hours before it goes live. So get off my ass.
Well, I'm going.
I do it 4 days early.
Well, I'm going for the freshest possible perspective.
That's it. That and stuff and streams and join them and Hot Monday energy this evening. It's going to be a good time.
Yes, and as a reminder, starting this evening, all of our streams are no longer going to be unlisted and tucked away into that playlist. They will all be available on the main page live afterwards. Even as VODs, they'll be on the live tab. So starting with tonight's Hidden Gems and Hot Monday Energy, and then all through the week. So Yahtzee Tries, Returnal, all that good stuff, all the Jack and Jenna streams. Yeah, that's it.
Boom.
I think we got one more. We got a four.
Oh wait, Here's one. I'm going to be at PAX East doing a panel on this game.
Get out of
here. So if you're going to be at PAX, keep an eye out.
So when's PAX East?
It's not this week. It's next week, and the panel's going to be at I think 1 p.m. on Friday.
That's all right.
We are officially never escaping from Resident Evil 9.
Or you can just come see me rant about it in person with a bunch of people who I think hold very different opinions to me. Apart from Jenna messaged me. I'm on the panel with Jenna. And she messaged to say that she largely agrees, and she's happy she's found someone who agrees. So look forward to that.
No, a lot of people agree. I mean, I made pretty much the same points in my review, and there was an awful lot of agreement on that in the chat. Comments rather. One last super chat. Hjorth87 gives 50 Danish kroner, says, not a big horror fan, although I liked Alan Wake. I prefer reading stroke hearing about the lore and plot. So, second-hand enjoyer, like the vibe but not the shock. I think there are many like you in the world, Hjorth87, and YouTube entertains a lot of them.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how good this game would be secondhand. Do you think this game would be fun to not play?
Well, I can't really say because I like horror. I like the experience of being in a horror game.
I asked the question and I realized I don't have an answer to that either.
And the interactive factor is a big part of what makes horror games all the more interesting to me, more so than horror movies and horror books and the like.
Might be interesting to figure out the puzzles and stuff, but maybe just that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, I guess that'll be it from us. See you all on Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye. Buy my book. Buy my book.
Buy books.